This one's really important. Printable forms / lesson plans. Okay, if you click here on the very top one, Mr. Simpson's assignment list, this is really important. And hopefully you've seen this, and this is our assignment list for the class so far. We'll put it on the back of the camera here so we can look at this. You should have seen this because you're actually supposed to sign this. So if it's signed and you haven't seen it, I wonder what that means. So anyway, we're already at assignment number 8. And for instance, like this one right here, Chapter 1, Chapter 2 review, that doesn't have a due date yet because that means we're actually still working on it. Actually, we just finished Chapter 1. We're now moving into Chapter 2. What we've been doing is we've been doing Chapter 1, which is about science, about physics, about the scientific method. But also concurrently with that, we've been doing a science fundamentals unit, which is all skill-based. All these things that they have to know how to do. Next week, they're getting tested on that. So we've been doing 2 things at once, all right? So we just finished Chapter 1. We're almost done with science fundamentals. And then boom, next week we'll take that test. And then once we do that, boom, we're moving right into Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is all about linear motion, speed, velocity, acceleration, etc. Kinematics. Okay, so anyway, if you want to know what they're doing, I'd always ask that you ask for their assignment list. And you'll always be signing on these, and there'll be 2 this semester, and there'll be 2 next semester. All right? So don't let them lie to you. Don't let them say, oh, there's no homework, just ask for their assignment list, and where are they? What are they doing? All right, so that's a great way to stay up on top of it. All right, there's that. Okay, we'll go back to the website here. Now, this same page actually has all the labs that we do in the class, and these are excellent labs. There are multiple pages. They actually have to print it, but I expect them to print them here at school, and they can print them for free. Okay, they can print them in black and white mode, although they all come in color. When they do show up, in class in color, I realize they've probably done it at home. So if you notice your ink wells going down really quickly, that's probably what they're doing. All right, but anyway, they can always print them for free here at school. And again, they're all in order according to the traditional sequence that we study. Now, we won't do all of them, but we'll do a significant amount of them. All right, so there's that. Going back, now if we scroll down, this is the course for this year, Physics 1-2. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but California is in the midst of changing their science standards. So we're going from our traditional standards, which have been really solid, really good. We're now going to next generation science standards. That's what NGSS means. And the official title of this course now is Physics in the Universe. All right, so we're now in Physics in the Universe. So I actually have periods 1 through 5. And then if we click on the syllabus, again, you should have seen this and you were supposed to have signed this. Now, if you didn't read it and you signed it, I don't know. Okay, but that does happen, okay? I realize that. Everybody gets busy. But anyway, it has a lot of useful information, explains what's going on here. So this is new for us. So the way that we're now going to be doing science. So at Patrick Henry, we have a 3-year science requirement, right? So you traditionally have a physics class, a chemistry class, a biology class. Well, in next generation science standards, for high schools that only do the 3-year requirement, well, they go, hey, what about earth science? Let's bring earth science in. So now we're going to be doing physics and earth science topics. We're now going to be bringing that in. Now that's okay. That's awesome with me. I'm a physics teacher for the longest time, and I've been an earth science teacher for the longest time. So that's a great thing. Just 2 years ago, we were teaching earth science separately as in its own course, which is probably best, but we had to let it go because we knew that things were changing. So this is actually now how they're covering earth science. They're now bringing earth science back into those 3 other core science classes. So the title is Physics in the Universe, Integrating Physics and Earth and Space Science. So this first semester, we're supposed to do the traditional sequence of physics, but we're supposed to bring in some big themes, from earth science, like plate tectonics. Okay, so we'll be talking about speed, velocity, acceleration with the plates moving. All right. We're also supposed to talk about planetary motion, and that actually makes sense because physics and astronomy happen at the same time. So we'll be doing like Newton's laws of motion and universal law of gravity, and then we'll also be now doing Kepler's laws of planetary motion. all together, and we'll be talking about the planets in our solar system. So that's what we're going to be doing this first semester. There's other topics that we're supposed to hit, but we're all trying to figure out as a department, as a physics department, how are we going to do this? Because we have to do the traditional sequence, and it's packed, and we barely have enough time to do that. And now we've got to bring in the earth science. So apparently school's now going to get extended into the summer. Okay, I'm just kidding. So in other words, something's got to give. We've got to start letting something go. We haven't figured out what that's going to be yet. So we're in the midst of figuring all this out. Okay. By the way, since I was holding these books up, let's talk about the textbooks. Hopefully you've seen this at home. Excellent textbook, although they did run out. So if your student doesn't have this yet, then they've ordered some new copies. So they should be getting them soon. So anyway, this is the Paul Hewitt book on conceptual physics. Now, Paul Hewitt is famous in the physics world. He is like the guru of conceptual physics. He's made physics accessible to many, many people. When I was in high school, maybe this is true for you too, when I was in high school, the people that were taking physics, had glasses on, tape right here, big, huge Texas Instrument calculator on their waistband, books under their pocket, going to class, and it was just a few of them, right, the geniuses. And it was all calculus-based. Well, very few people were successful in that, right? So now we can you can teach physics. Actually, the famous physicist Feinstein, he actually said, hey, I can teach physics without math. You can teach physics without math. You won't know how to use it, and you won't know the power of it, but we can actually teach physics now, conceptually, where we teach the concept first with very easy to understand illustrations, demonstrations, experiments. They get the idea, and then now you bring in the math. Right? Now you bring in the algebra, now you bring in the trig. So we will be doing a lot of algebra this year, a lot of trig. But those are skills that, they should have the algebra skills. They will learn the trig skills. Okay, so it's made it accessible for a lot of people. This is just a great text. Now for the earth science, since I've taught earth science for a long time, my colleague and I, we were the earth science teachers. We personally chose this book, so when we get into earth science topics, by the way, I actually have a whole class of this, so they don't have to bring a book to school. I also have a whole class of this. They won't have this book at home. This has not been assigned, but I have it. So when we need it for earth science topics, we have a whole class set that they can use. And this is really good, Earth Science by Glencoe and National Geographic Society. So one of the best textbooks for earth science out there for high school. So we actually have two really, really good resources that we get to utilize this year. So we're going to start trying to do this blend that they want us to do. All right, so enough about that. Let's talk about supplies. So students should always come prepared, right? They should have this 3-reading binder loaded with paper, 6 dividers for all their subjects, 1 for physics. They should bring, mechanical pencils, pens loaded up in their backpack. They need a scientific calculator. If they don't have one, they need to get one. We will be using a scientific calculator. Now, I do allow them to use a smartphone as a calculator, scientific calculator mode, like during class time if they forgot their real calculator. But during the test, they have to have a scientific calculator. I will not allow them to use a smartphone on the day of the test for good reasons, right? They'll be Googling everything, taking pictures of everything. That would be the worst. But anyway, so I don't make any money from Texas Instrument, but this is a great calculator. This will take them through the TI-30X. This will take them all the way through high school, college. It's just an awesome, and it's really easy to use. It's not hard to use at all. Sometimes you might have to use the manual. I'm kind of a nerd. I keep it in my packaging. Okay, but anyway, so it looks like it's new, but it's not. Okay, anyway, so that's a great calculator, but there's others out there. Now there's some calculators that students bring in, the ones that are really big and graphing, and it's got a booklet this thick, and they're going, Mr. Simpson, I'm not sure how to do it. I'm going, I don't know either. Let's look up, let's see how to do this. It's better to get one that you can just use right away, where you don't really have, there's no learning curve. Boom, you can use it and you're on your way. Okay, let's go back to this. Now again, textbooks, we have them in the class. They don't have to bring them to school. And then the labs, they need to print them as often as we need them. And I always give them lead-up time and tell them when to print it, all right? And I expect them to print them here at school.
Good evening, Patrick Henry families. Please make your way to period 6. Again, it is now time to visit period 6 classroom.
Is not enough.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but anyway, thanks for coming. Now, if you do read through the syllabus, it's solid. I mean, it explains, so much about the class. I mean, there's even extra credit available, which is really